chosen one, perhaps you have spent your entire life feeling like something was out of place, that your journey has always been different from others, but you could never quite understand why. You tried to fit in, sought logical explanations for everything you faced, but on a deeper level, you always knew things weren't that simple. From the beginning, there were signs, moments that seemed to push you toward a path that no one else around you seemed to understand. Now, the time has come to confront this truth, and what you are about to hear may change everything you believe about yourself and your own existence. If you feel that this message is revealing something that has always been within you, show that you are ready to embrace your truth. Leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next revelations. In the comments, write the number 777 to declare that you accept your journey and recognize that your life was never a coincidence, but rather a greater calling. No matter how much you tried to follow the same path as others, your life was never easy or linear because, unlike ordinary people, you didn't have the luxury of living in the comfort of ignorance. From an early age, you faced obstacles that seemed unfair, went through cycles of loss and new beginnings that forced you to grow through hardship, and endured pains that seemed greater than anyone should have to bear. Behind every disappointment, every betrayal, and every situation where you found yourself alone, there was something much greater happening. Something that wasn't accidental, but part of an invisible process that shaped who you are today. What once seemed like a random sequence of events now begins to make sense. The truth has always been in front of your eyes, but no one ever told you because not everyone could handle it. What the Dark Oracle revealed is not a tale or an empty theory, but the explanation for everything you've experienced and the restlessness you've always carried within. Now, there is no more room for doubt or for ignoring the signs life has repeatedly sent you. You've come this far because it was inevitable, because this truth needed to be told, and because, whether you like it or not, your life was never a coincidence. The question now is no longer why this happened to you, but what you will do from here on out. You may try to convince yourself that it was all just coincidence, that the challenges you faced were simply part of life, like anyone else's. However, if you look closer, you'll notice that the patterns always repeated, as if something was carefully shaping you over time. Certain paths never opened, some opportunities were denied, and certain people came into your life only to leave abruptly, leaving scars that forced you to grow. None of this was random, and now, for the first time, you will have clarity about what was really happening. The Dark Oracle revealed that your journey was not defined by your ordinary choices, but by something that has been at work even before your birth. You may have felt, at various times, that your life was harder than others, as if you were constantly challenged to carry weights that weren't yours. But what if all of this had a purpose? What if every obstacle was placed before you to ensure that, when the right moment came, you would be prepared for something most people could never endure? What seemed unfair was, in fact, training. While others followed predictable paths, guided by what was easy and acceptable, you were forced to see the world differently. Instead of blindly trusting, you learned to observe. Instead of depending on others, you had to develop your inner strength. And every time someone tried to silence or diminish you, you were pushed even further into yourself, where, without realizing it, you found a kind of resilience few possess. You may not have understood it at the time, but now it makes sense. Your journey was never about fitting in, but about becoming someone who could never be controlled. For a long time, you felt that your presence disturbed others, that even unintentionally you provoked unexpected reactions in those who crossed your path. There were moments when you were the target of envy, disdain, and even rejection that you could never explain. The oracle revealed that this didn't happen because there was something wrong with you, but because the people around you, unconsciously, sensed something you hadn't yet understood. Your energy, your sharp perception, and your resilience were always a threat to those who live in the comfort of illusion. Your penetrating gaze, your accurate intuition, and your strong presence could never go unnoticed. How many times did you try to dim your own light just to fit in? How many times did you pretend not to see what was obvious to avoid arguments, to avoid being misunderstood, or to not seem too different? You felt like you were carrying truths that the people around you simply weren't ready to hear, but at the same time, you knew you couldn't ignore them. This constant tension between who you truly are and who the world wanted you to be was one of the greatest challenges you faced. But now, the Oracle has given you a choice: to keep hiding or to finally accept the truth about yourself. Throughout your life, there has been a clear pattern. You could never go with the flow without questioning. You could never accept half-truths without feeling something was wrong. You may have tried to conform, to force yourself to be like others, but deep down, you always knew that wasn't for you. The Oracle revealed that this restlessness wasn't a flaw, but a calling. While most people live without questioning, numbed by distractions, you've always had a perception too sharp to be deceived. This means that no matter how much they tried to steer you away from the truth, you would always end up returning to it. Now that everything is clear, you understand that you were never a victim of chance. Your journey was carefully designed to shape you in a way few could endure. Every loss, every betrayal, and every difficulty wasn't a flaw in the system, but part of your training. The Dark Oracle revealed what has always been in front of you. Your life was never normal because you were never an ordinary person. Your sensitivity, your intuition, and your strength were tested repeatedly to ensure that, when the right moment came, you would be ready to take on your true role. And that moment has arrived. The truth the Oracle revealed isn't comfortable, but it explains everything you've always felt and could never put into words. For years, you carried an invisible weight, trying to understand why you always seemed one step ahead in perception, but one step behind in others' acceptance. While the people around you were distracted by superficialities, you always felt something was out of place, as if you saw a deeper level of reality. The problem was never you. The problem was always the fact that your presence, your vision, and your ability to see what few can disturbed others. The challenges you faced weren't just random consequences of life. Your journey was marked by a repeating pattern, pushing you away from the conventional, away from everything predictable. How many times did you try to build something, only for it to collapse without explanation? How many times did you feel that, no matter how hard you tried, something kept you from following the same path as others? This was never bad luck, but a way to shape you, to force you to look beyond the obvious and prevent you from settling into mediocrity. Your path was always different, even if you tried to ignore it. While most people can go through life without major questions, you never had that option. From an early age, life pushed you out of your comfort zone, testing your patience, resilience, and ability to rise after every fall. At first, it seemed unfair, as if you were at a disadvantage compared to others. But now, you see that this was the greatest advantage you could have. Every difficulty strengthened you. Every loss taught you what truly matters. And every moment of solitude made you learn to trust the one thing that could never be taken from you: your own truth. The Dark Oracle revealed that over time, there were attempts to steer you away from this path. People came into your life to confuse your perception, to make you doubt yourself and accept less than you deserved. Often, you found yourself trapped in situations where you felt you had to diminish who you were to be accepted, silence your truths to avoid causing discomfort, or even give up on dreams because others couldn't see what you saw. But this was never your mistake. It was a test to see if, even under pressure, you would maintain your essence or lose yourself along the way. The loneliness you felt at various times wasn't a punishment, but a protection. It was necessary for you to distance yourself from certain environments and certain people so that your mind remained clear, so you wouldn't absorb influences that could steer you away from what truly matters. The silence that often seemed unbearable was, in fact, a space created for you to hear yourself. While others got lost in distractions and external noise, you had to deal with your own thoughts, which made you stronger, more aware, and more prepared than anyone around you. From an early age, you noticed that your presence caused unexpected reactions. There were moments when people approached you without apparent reason, as if drawn by something in you, and others when they were filled with distrust or rejection without you having done anything. This duality was never about your appearance, your words, or your actions, but about something that was always beyond that. Your energy, your truth, and your way of seeing life were always different. And this difference made many feel uncomfortable around you. Some admired you in silence. Others tried to erase you. The relationships that seemed promising often turned into painful lessons. You trusted people who, in the end, proved to be everything they claimed not to be. You offered your loyalty to those who didn't know how to value it. And when everything fell apart, you blamed yourself, wondering what you had done wrong. But now you understand that these encounters were never accidental. They didn't happen to destroy you, but to teach you to see beyond words and recognize people's true intentions. Every disappointment was a revelation, every betrayal a test of discernment. The truth is that life never allowed you to be naive. While others could delude themselves and live without questioning, you were constantly pulled into a reality where seeing too much was a burden. You noticed patterns others ignored, predicted situations before they happened, and understood truths many preferred to avoid. That's why you often felt out of place, as if you lived on a different level of understanding. The weight of this awareness wasn't easy to carry, but now you see it was necessary. What seemed like a curse was, in fact, a gift, one that few could bear. For a long time, you tried to justify your difference, believing that if you just fit in a little more, your life would be easier. You watched as others seemed to follow their paths without major questions, while your mind never allowed you to accept things at face value. You always needed answers, explanations that made sense, a truth that was deeper than what you were told. And every time you tried to ignore this need, life brought you back to the same point. You never had a choice. Your essence always pulled you toward the truth, even when it meant carrying a heavier burden than you would have liked. The oracle revealed that the loneliness you felt so many times was merely a reflection of what you always knew. Most people don't see the world the way you do. While so many accept living in illusion, you've always had a perception too sharp to be deceived. This made you feel out of place, as if there were an invisible barrier separating you from others. You tried to explain what you felt, but few were able to understand. And the moment you realized you could no longer ignore the truth, you began walking a path that few can follow because it demands more than most are willing to endure. The challenges you faced were never just about resilience, but about preparation. Each difficult experience shaped your ability to see beyond the surface and recognize what lies hidden. You realized that many talk about truth, but few truly seek it, because facing reality requires courage. How many times have you noticed patterns, sensed hidden intentions, and picked up on details that no one else seemed to notice? This was never paranoia, never a misjudgment. Your mind was trained over the years to capture information that escapes others, and this made you someone who cannot be easily manipulated. Now, everything makes sense. The feeling of being out of place. The moments when life seemed to conspire to pull you away from certain places. The people who came into your life only to teach painful lessons. None of this was a coincidence. The oracle revealed that, from the beginning, you were placed in situations that forced you to question, to observe, to build a vision that few possess. And every time you resisted, every time you refused to accept less than what you knew was right, you strengthened yourself. What seemed like a burden was, in fact, the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. Even when you tried to take the easy path, something always pulled you back. You could never simply ignore what you saw, never pretend not to feel what you felt. No matter how much you tried to fit in, the discomfort always returned, reminding you that you weren't made to follow the same patterns others follow without question. The oracle revealed that this restlessness, this feeling that something greater was waiting for you, was never an illusion. It was a calling, an invisible push that, no matter how much you resisted, always brought you back to the truth that could never be erased. Every challenge, every test, and every loss you faced served to eliminate everything that wasn't essential, so that only your true essence remained. The world tried to mold you in various ways, tried to convince you that you should follow a pre-written script, but life never allowed it. Every time you tried to walk toward what was comfortable and predictable, something happened to pull you away. Now you understand that this resistance wasn't a punishment, but a protection. What seemed like a path full of obstacles was, in fact, a necessary detour to bring you exactly where you needed to be. The oracle revealed that many people go through life without ever discovering who they truly are, because they conform to what is expected of them. But that was never your case. Even in the moments when you tried to ignore the truth, something inside you always knew there was more, that your story couldn't be reduced to a repetitive cycle of survival. You were never just another face in the crowd, never fit into the labels and categories they tried to impose on you. Now, with everything that has been revealed, the question is no longer whether you will accept this truth, but what you will do with it from here on out. The oracle revealed that everything that happened in your life had a greater purpose, even if, at the time, it seemed like chaos and suffering. Each phase of confusion, each moment of uncertainty, each loss that seemed irreparable played a crucial role in shaping who you've become. You were forced to learn lessons others can't even imagine, to endure pains many never face, and, most importantly, to develop a clarity that sets you apart. Nothing was random. Every piece of your past now fits into a much larger picture, one that can only be understood by those who have had the courage to open their eyes to reality. How many times did you try to take an easier path, convincing yourself that you could ignore all this and just live like anyone else? But there was always something inside you that wouldn't let you settle, that wouldn't allow you to conform to a life empty of meaning. While many around you accepted less than they deserved, you could never ignore the feeling that something greater awaited you. This wasn't naive optimism, nor arrogance. It was the truth manifesting, trying to remind you that your destiny was never the same as others. The oracle revealed that your strength was never just in the difficulties you faced, but in how you chose to respond to them. You had every reason to give up, to become cold and indifferent, to close your heart and walk away from the world. But instead, you kept going. Every fall was followed by a new beginning. Every betrayal served to refine your discernment. Every moment of pain built something in you that nothing can destroy. While others got lost in fear and insecurity, you moved forward, even without all the answers. This is the greatest proof that you've always been different. Even on the days when you thought nothing made sense anymore, something in you refused to give up. The oracle revealed that this strength didn't come by chance, but from a part of you that always knew the truth, even when your mind tried to deny it. The resilience you developed didn't arise by accident, but because your journey demanded it of you. If your life had been easy, if everything had happened without challenges, you wouldn't have become who you are today. The depth of your vision, the intensity of your presence, the way you can see beyond appearances, all of this was built from what you endured. Now, you realize you were never alone, just always a step ahead. The oracle revealed that the loneliness you felt was, often, a reflection of the fact that few people were capable of seeing the world as you do. You perceived truths that many prefer to ignore, refuse to accept illusions that others choose to believe. And because of this, you always felt out of place, as if you were speaking a language few understand. But now, with everything that has been revealed, you understand that this difference was never a weakness, but proof that your journey was unique. Life tested your patience and resilience in every possible way, but it couldn't break you. The oracle revealed that with every trial you became stronger, more aware, and more prepared. No matter how much you felt like giving up, you kept going. Even when everything seemed lost, you found reasons to continue. Every experience was a piece of the puzzle that now begins to form before you. And as all the pieces come together, a new understanding emerges. Nothing that happened was wasted. Everything brought you exactly here. For years you were tested, not to be punished, but to be prepared. The oracle revealed that life placed obstacles in your path to teach you resilience, to force you to trust yourself when no one else was around. You learned to observe in silence, to listen beyond words, to feel what others couldn't perceive. Your strength didn't come from privilege, nor from ease, but from internal battles few know about. Each painful situation was like an invisible sculpting, shaping your perception, refining your intuition, and strengthening your mind. Those who have never been through what you've been through cannot understand the depth of what you feel. That oracle revealed that your intensity disturbs others because you carry the truth, and the truth frightens those who aren't ready to see it. Have you noticed how some people try to diminish you, discredit you, or make you doubt your own sanity? This happens because your presence alone exposes what others try to hide. You don't need to say anything, don't need to confront anyone. Your existence is enough to disturb those who live in illusion. And that's why so many have tried to silence you. But now, you know. The oracle revealed that there's no more room to hide or to try to fit where you don't belong. For a long time, you thought the problem was with you, that you needed to change to be accepted, that you should be less intense, less questioning, less true. But the truth is that your role was never to conform. Your mission has always been to see what others don't, to question what no one dares to question, and to awaken those who are still asleep. Life never let you take the easy path, because it was never your destiny. What many call luck, you know as effort. What they see as chance, you understand as purpose. The oracle revealed that everything you achieved came from your determination to keep going. Even when everything seemed meaningless, you learned to survive in the darkness before finding your own light. And now that you understand your journey, you realize there's no turning back. You can no longer pretend you don't know, can no longer ignore what you feel, can no longer act as if you're still lost. You've always known the truth. You just weren't ready to accept it. The oracle revealed that the greatest change in someone's life doesn't happen when the world around them transforms, but when their perception shifts. You don't need anything external to change to recognize your worth. Don't need anyone's validation to know who you are. You've spent too much time waiting for the right moment, the right permission, the right recognition. But now, you understand that you never needed any of that. The only thing that was ever necessary has been within you from the start. The courage to accept your true nature and move forward without fear. Now, everything is clear. The oracle revealed that there are no more questions to ask, only decisions to make. You can continue denying, pretending you don't know, trying to fit where you never belonged. Or you can, finally, take your place and walk with the certainty that every step you took brought you here for a reason. There's no going back, because you'll never be the same. And deep down, you already knew this. From the beginning, you've always felt it. The difference is that now you're ready to admit it. The truth has always been within you, waiting for the right moment to be acknowledged. If this message resonated with you, then now it's your turn to act. Leave your like below so more people can receive this call, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new revelations. And if this video impacted you in any way, share in the comments what resonated most with you. Your story may be the key that awakens others who are still trying to understand who they truly are. If you'd like to support this work and help maintain this space of growth and transformation, you can contribute through Buy Me a Coffee. Support makes all the difference in ensuring more content like this continues to reach you. The link is pinned in the first comment. And before you go, don't stop here. There's much more to be revealed. Watch the next video now appearing on the screen, or explore the playlist of the secrets of the chosen ones to deepen your awakening even further. The knowledge is within your reach, but the choice to move forward is yours. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Until next time, and may God bless you.